It will be fine. I promise you. I am 100% sure. Good night.
Here.
He's very
Hold on.
skeptical of the butter.
Hold on. Can butter be left out overnight? Yes, butter can be left out. It's not recommended for extended periods, says the USDA.
Yeah, but what do they know? Yeah, I mean, I want to watch it.
Okay. He's a robot.
Is it enough for you
Is what
to?
enough?
Is it enough for you to subscribe to Apple TV?
I'll probably.
Oh my
still
God! You're not watching The Studio. You're not watching Friends and Neighbors, Murderbot, Pachinko.
I finished.
Shrinking. It sounds like Shrinking was your last thing.
I don't think he didn't watch Shrinking.
I have like 2 episodes left of Shrinking.
What did you just knock over?
Or maybe one episode?
Fucking
I don't know.
hell!
Wait, what? How much? Wait, you?
I don't know.
So
I had
you
like
started it. You just didn't finish it.
I went through most of season 2. They definitely got caught at the dinner. I think I saw the one after that. That's around where
So you didn't see the finale?
I did not see the finale. I know that there's some big Brett Goldstein scene. I don't know.
Yes.
The
thing that we talked about.
Yeah, I don't remember what we talked about.
Oh my God.
That's his name, David Dastmalchian.
Yeah.
He's the guy when I said, "Oh, that guy." And Sabrina Wu. Good for Sabrina Wu. Oh, John Cho and Jack McBrayer are in the show that he's watching?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun. That's very funny.
That's fun. Yes.
I like that. I was confused by Alexander Skarsgård's voice sounding a little Owen Wilson-y.
He's going for comedy. I don't know.
Yeah, but no, I mean,
when I expressed outrage, I somehow knocked myself offline for like 20 seconds. You didn't even notice.
No, I saw you freeze up. I just didn't really care.
Yeah. No, the internet went out.
Oh.
Because of something,
but something
you
I don't know if
did, or just
perhaps because it happened at the same time when I threw my phone down and my wife texted me, "Are you okay?" And then my internet went out.
Did you text, "Yes, I'm fine. Dan hasn't finished Shrinking"?
I should.
Look, so this is one of the problems is that there are a lot of shows that are not household shows.
Okay.
And so I have to find time to watch them on my own.
Oh, yeah.
And
I have the opposite problem.
What is
finding time to watch the household shows?
Oh, okay. That part's easy. That part we can make work. But
I have to do it with like 4 other people.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
And you watch things really quickly, which means you end up getting held back.
True. Yeah, because you watch like 3x speed.
No, I don't watch at 3x speed.
I also don't. The other problem is that there are times where, so I don't want to disparage anyone on this podcast, but there have been times where there were shows that I was led to believe were group shows, only to find I am behind. But if I were to commit the same crime, I would be in trouble. So there are also shows.
So you weren't disparaging us. You're disparaging. No. Okay,
no. I'm disparaging other people who watch television sometimes. Or that like there are shows that are deemed group shows, but then they don't enter the rotation of group shows. So then I'm like, I need to watch it for the podcast, but then
the other person has already watched it.
Well, either that or it's like, well, okay, fine, you can do that, I guess.
Yeah.
But then there's like I've like lost points for it.
Yeah.
For foisting it upon. Yeah.
I get that sometimes. I do want to watch Murderbot, so
I'm very excited for Murder Rock.
Yeah.
There are definitely times where, I'm like, this show's premiering. I probably should watch an episode or two of the podcast. And Juan's like, okay, we could be watching cartoons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so yours is more of like it gets in the way of shared viewing.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Like there are shows obviously that like are for the podcast and they are shared viewing.
Right.
But then there are definitely. I feel like there was something that premiered recently, and I was like, I should probably check out a couple episodes out. And that one was a bit more of a imposition. My husband's always game; he'll support, but like he will not. He put his foot down, won't watch the rehearsal, so that I have to watch on my own.
Okay.
He finds Nathan Fielder. He likes him. He appreciates it. It makes him very uncomfortable.
This week's made me, the one particular sequence in this week's made me very uncomfortable.
I still haven't seen it. Oh, this isn't the boob one, is it?
No, that was last week.
Okay. Oh, something more uncomfortable than the boob?
Well, just for me, I thought. Because it could come off as him making fun. I mean, he wasn't making fun of this woman, but what she was doing was sort of, it was like this older woman who went into this long conversation about how Einstein gives her wet dreams, and Fielder kept probing her about the wet dreams and what it's like for women to have wet dreams, and this woman kept explaining it, and it was very just like so awkward.
I feel like that's more awkward for Fielder. Like, does he not understand?
No. It was
how
awkward to
wet
watch.
Works? Oh.
Just because it felt a little bit like, I mean, sometimes it comes off like he's making fun of his subjects. And I don't think he is necessarily. Yeah.
Well,
He's clearly like,
a little bit.
Yeah. This woman's, yeah. I don't know how to explain it, but it was really uncomfortable for me. I had to fast forward at one point because I didn't want to hear any more about the wetness.
So you prefer things dry?
Welcome to another episode of Pajiba, the Pajiba television podcast. I'm Pajiba comedy editor Dan Hamamura. With me, as always, are Pajiba managing editor Tori Preston.
Hello, Dan.
Hello, Tori. And he does not like things wet, but he does like tiny baby shoes, stuffed and rolls.
You did watch SNL, yes?
Half.
So you saw Tiny Baby Shoe.
I did see Tiny Baby Shoes.
That was the only sketch I watched.
Really?
I watched SNL by reading your recap and then clicking on the ones that sound interesting, and that was the one that I was like, I will listen to a Jane Wickline song.
Honestly, that one and Mikey Day getting attacked by an invisible spider were the big highlights for me.
Oh, I don't think.
Otherwise, I was like, it was on Update.
Oh, okay.
He was like explaining tariffs, but he thought he had a spider on him.
Okay, we stopped before Update because weirdly we had missed we had forgotten to finish the Quinta Brunson episode, so we watched one whole episode's worth of SNL, but it was like update or maybe post update through pre update of this one,
right?
Or something like that.
Well, next week you can skip the back half after Update.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to do that.
I mean, it's bad.
That's sometimes those are the most fun to watch.
And apparently, like Arcade Fire got like 18 minutes of time or something. I don't know, like an insane amount of time for a band
that's like 1.5 Arcade Fire songs.
There was a lot of controversy on Reddit about them.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of controversy around. What's his name?
Also, it's Reddit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten about that controversy. And I was like, why are people making a big deal out of Arcade Fire?
What's the controversy with Arcade Fire?
Just that guy, yeah.
Win Butler was accused of sexual misconduct by several people. Was it misconduct or abuse? I'm not sure exactly.
I think it was misconduct, and I think there might have been like a minor involved. I don't know all the details.
Oh, so just gross. Some grossness.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it was weird that SNL, I mean, I don't know. It's their first album in a while. I don't know why anybody cares about
It doesn't actually make it very weird for SNL.
Yeah.
No, they don't give a shit.
So, but anyway, so that's SNL, and also briefly the rehearsal. We do have a lot to talk about, and I guess we already spent 5 minutes of me watching and reacting to the Murderbot trailer. So,
are we going to include that? Because you were less reactive.
Yeah, I wouldn't include that.
It? I think you got to cut
that.
Oh my god, that's so much more editing.
Nobody wants to listen to that. But there's nothing before it.
But don't edit us talking about editing it. We have to leave that in so people understand that there's something that they're missing.
Yeah, I'm not making any cuts after.
No, yeah.
Wherever we'll come in around the rehearsal or something.
Right. It was too much dead air. You were less in. You were. I was hoping for more.
That's on the two of you. You're supposed to be commenting on my reaction.
We were talking about kind of your face.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You just didn't react much. You're like,
what am I supposed to react to? It's a trailer.
I don't know.
It's fine.
You should be more excited, like that Stephen King trailer last week. In that moment coming, I was like, "Holy shit!" That was a really good trailer.
I'm sorry that I'm not getting excited at a commercial, Dustin. I prefer to enjoy the actual product.
I'm sorry that you're not excited about Alexander Skarsgård as a robot.
He sounded like Owen Wilson.
It was confusing. Now now that's all I'm gonna hear when I watch it.
Yeah.
And it's gonna really.
I've ruined it for everyone.
But the trailer for the Owen Wilson and Mark Maron show came out this week, and that was pretty good too.
I haven't seen it.
It's a golf thing.
No, I know it's a golf thing. I haven't seen it.
No, it's fine. It's good. He's like an old, washed-up golfer who helps a protege, and then Mark Maron's the grumpy coach or something. I don't know.
So it's Tin Cup?
There wasn't a protege in Tin Cup, was there?
Technically, Kevin Costner is the protege.
Oh, okay. I think it's more like the Happy Madison sequel, it feels like.
Oh.
You mean Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Did you call it Happy Madison?
I sure did.
The production company, but not the movie.
Yep.
We're just Chris O'Donnelling this.
Like, it's literally 2. Yeah, okay, Chris O'Donnell. Okay, so let's do a correction, all right? I said last week about, I don't even remember who we were talking about, getting a glow-up.
Josh Peck.
Oh, right, Josh Peck. I said Chris O'Donnell. What I meant was Jerry O'Connell, because I was thinking of Jerry O'Connell being from like the little kid.
You call that a glow up? Oh, I see.
I mean, compared to him in Stand
By Me.
Compared
to the kid, yeah.
Yeah, that's what, because Josh Peck had a similar, like, as a kid, but he's just kind of like a normal looking kid. And then
he also looks like a real housewife.
Who does?
Jerry O'Connell.
Well, yeah, now. But I mean, like, from when he went from there to like the peak of Jerry O'Connell. And then
I mean, you try being married to Rebecca Romaine and then like aging.
That's fair. Yeah.
Wait, and what was the other name that you said, Tori? That
because I was like, did you just combine Jerry O'Connell and Chris Pratt?
Oh, right. I was not thinking about Chris Pratt only because I was thinking very specifically of someone who was like a child actor who then looked different as an adult.
Yeah. I literally started Googling Chris O'Donnell to figure out, because I was like, I remember him as Robin. I'm sure he did stuff when he was younger, but I was like, was he like a known child actor? I couldn't remember.
The School Ties is the first thing I remember.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
Like he played school people.
Right. But yeah, not yes. I was thinking of Jerry O'Connell.
Okay.
So that's the correction. The other answer that would have been acceptable is, I can't remember his name, but the British guy who was in what was he? Oh, he's in The Bear.
Nicholas Hoult.
No. And he was a kid in the vacation movie where Jason Sudeikis
Anthony Michael Hall?
No. What?
No.
No, Jason Sudeikis is taking his family.
Oh, no, you're thinking of now I'm blanking on his name. He was Adam Warlock.
Tori
and I did?
Maybe? I don't know.
Hold on.
I don't know who Adam Warlock is.
Hold on.
What?
Well, it's a terrible actor.
This is great.
Will Poulter?
Will Poulter.
Are you thinking of
yes.
Will Poulter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will Poulter
Totally.
is another one who went through a transformation, and now
yes,
he's
he
like,
did.
I
remember. Were the Millers was I think the first time I saw him.
Yeah. Anyway, this is all great. This is all staying in. The point is, yes, I was wrong for once. So put that one on your ledger, Dustin.
But you admit that you're wrong, and I
That's true.
appreciate your honesty.
Oh, thank you, Tori. I appreciate you calling me out.
But you strive to correct the record, and you want this to be factually based.
Yeah.
You don't want parade a series of lies and entrench in them.
No. Nor do I ever cheat at any of our games when we do play them. So on that note.
Well, I just wanted to mention that we're not going to talk about Poker Face this week, except I did want to say that Kevin Corrigan was completely unrecognizable.
He was. It freaked me out.
Me too.
Couldn't recognize him.
It took me a minute to place him.
It took me a really long time. So
because the show made him look different, or because he looks different?
I think probably mostly he looks different.
Okay.
Like there was a little bit of the show, like maybe some of the facial hair, but there was also just like, oh.
I think it's been like maybe 15, 20 years since I've seen the guy.
No, it can't be that long. Really?
I don't know.
He
was in that sitcom on Fox with Katie Seagal and what's his face? Dan knows what I'm talking about.
What?
The sitcom on Fox with Katie Seagal and
Married with Children?
No. The other one that had the guy from the detective show that we all love, whose name escapes me right now. God damn it. He was okay. The Shield guy made another show about a detective.
The Commish.
No. It wasn't the Shield guy. I think he produced it. Come on. This is a fun game.
What is? Oh wait, can you describe the show? I seriously don't know what you're talking about. So now
the detective show. It was like the guy that used to be on MTV, the cab driver on MTV.
Cash Cab.
Rebel.
No. Earlier than that, on MTV, he did the stupid MTV commercials around the time that Dennis Leary was doing MTV commercials. What? Somebody is listening to this podcast and freaking out because
were you talking about Katie Seagal? Katie Seagal being in the show. Who are we trying to identify right now?
Kevin Corrigan was in the show apparently with
Katie Seagal. Okay. And now I'm trying to think of the guy. He was
Kevin Corrigan.
No, but Kevin Corrigan was in the show. The guy was in a beloved detective show that only lasted one season, and everybody freaked out when it got canceled.
Oh,
people still talk about it.
Okay. So you're talking about Terriers.
Yes, thank you.
Is the TV show, but
yes.
I don't know.
Talking about so it's not.
Is it? You're not talking
the
about
lead in Terriers.
There are two.
Right, but he's talking about the one who's been in like sitcoms.
Yes. Everybody knows him.
Yeah, that show was a long time ago, Dustin.
No, hold on.
I know, but he's beloved.
So it's not Donald Logue. Are you talking about Donald Logue?
Yes, it is Donald Logue. Donald Logue was in a show with Kevin Corrigan and Katie Seagal.
Why didn't we could just look up the show that Kevin Corrigan was in with Katie Seagal.
It's much more fun.
The amazing thing is that I'm looking up all of these names as we speak, and I still can't find the show.
I know.
Really?
Then
let's see.
Because I bet Dustin is getting one thing wrong. Grounded for Life?
Yes. Thank you.
Grounded for Life.
That's the last time I remember seeing Kevin Corrigan.
Kevin Corrigan was in Community, Dustin.
You know what the problem was?
I don't remember.
You saw he was
What?
Professor Garrity.
Katie Seagal wasn't in the show.
Yeah, what the hell? I was like,
That's
there's
why
no
we weren't
way
finding
she's in
it.
Grounded for Life.
Who was the wife
Megan
in Grounded for
Price?
Life? Really?
Yeah, it was not Katie Seagal. That's why when we would look Katie Seagal and Kevin Corrigan, that was not turning up anything.
I see. I think I was confusing it with the Katie Seagal John Ritter show.
Don't even start down this path.
Eight Simple Rules. Thank you. I think they were like contemporaries.
That's a very different show, Dustin.
Where
it is. Is it? I mean, I don't remember. They had like kids and married couples arguing over their kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're very similar. Megan Price basically is a Katie Seagal ripoff. I think I had a crush on Megan Price.
Dustin, what are you drinking? Because it sounds real strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I just really sidetracked us.
The Megan Price fan club is going to come after us.
I'm drinking a bottle of wine called Joel Gott, Gott. I just liked the label. It's 2023. It's a 2-year-old wine. It's a Sauvignon Blanc from California. Joel Gott.
Mm.
All right. Tori, what about you?
Tasty.
I got more of my canned cocktails. This is the Dogfish Head Cocktails Rum Mai Tai. I may have to go get a second one.
No.
It's real good. Tastes like candy.
Rum Mai Tai.
It was almost 70 degrees today. It was raining all weekend. So I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, it is officially summer now. So I'm going to drink.
Yeah.
It was raining all weekend. Like, it was so much rain.
Oh, all weekend. No. We had a beautiful Sunday and today.
Yeah, yesterday was nice, but it was still chilly. Today, it like suddenly got warmer. It was great. So it's fruity cocktail time.
Dan, what are you drinking?
It's very hot. It's hot enough that I should be having a beer, but I did not grab a beer in time. So instead, I have just Tullamore Dew whiskey, just classic whiskey cabinet or liquor cabinet whiskey. It's free. It appeared. It does what it needs to do.
Dan, do you ever have a cocktail or a margarita or a daiquiri?
No.
No.
Do you ever have? You just called it the whiskey cabinet. Do you ever have other liquors in the cabinet?
You know what? There are other liquors in the magic liquor cabinet, but I tend to mostly just drink the whiskey.
That's fair.
I don't really. I mean, I'll have like a cocktail if I'm out, but I have no particular interest in learning how to make it myself.
It's hard.
Yeah, and I would rather just like if I can pour 2 things maybe over ice and that's enough, then fine. But I don't want to learn how to peel a rind or or salt a rim or anything like that.
I don't have to buy a shaker.
Yeah.
Like when you need accoutrements to make it happen. No.
Yeah. We have a shaker.
The Walking Dead people sent me a shaker, and that's my shaker.
Because famously on The Walking Dead, they made a lot of cocktails.
They sent me a whole cocktail set.
So that you could get drunk while for the show.
Apparently, I guess so.
And that's the level of corruption that has plagued our television
and clearly
media.
It works because I say nothing but nice things about The Walking Dead.
Well, you kept watching. You're still talking about it.
That is true. Okay, fair.
Anyway, on to this week's shows. We have already successfully wasted 20 minutes.
Oh, my God.
Which is amazing. I want to, before we get into Survivor, I just want to mention real quick, just to make sure we get it in. The Devil's Plan is back on Netflix. It is the second season of the hit Korean competition show. It is a bunch of people who are all smart, but they also happen to be actors or singers or models, or some of them are like doctors, but they're like hot doctors, So, so they're all there to compete. They're put into this elaborate set that's been built. They have to live there. They play these like really confusing, convoluted games that have been invented for the show. And they're at the end of the day, only one of them can win the money. So it's a lot of fun. It's like the Traitors if the traders, if you were locked in a soundstage the entire time and the games were like 14 times as hard.
Oh.
But the reason why I wanted to mention it, besides the fact that it's great and they do like a 4 episode a week drop, so it's like a month worth of episodes. I mean, it'll be a month before they're all out. Is that this year? Last year they had a Canadian who lives in Canada who's like a poker guy as like their one non-Korean or like from Korean. This year, the one person is Justin Min of Beef and Umbrella Academy, who's there. He looks very American because he's so much more tan than everybody else.
Yeah.
And he's also like, he obviously speaks Korean, but he clearly is also not super comfortable speaking Korean. So there's like a lot of stuff where like he's speaking in Korean, but then they'll also talk to him a lot in English. So it's and yeah, so it's great. So there's someone for you to latch on to if you haven't seen it. If you're an American who doesn't care about Korean competition, but you like Justin Min. Yeah.
I like Justin Min. How's he doing? Is he like is he the Jason Mantzoukas of the Devil's Plan? Like, do we think he has a shot?
I think personally, I think it will ultimately be tough because the games are so complex. It just feels like his brain is probably having to work on multiple levels because he's trying to translate everything while also because the other competitors will speak to him in English, but all the rules are presented in Korean.
Right.
The judges and the people who are like assisting with the games are also just speaking Korean. So I think it's probably too much to be able to like translate and then also process the complicated games. But that being said, he is still in, at least as of we're through episode 3, 2.5, something like that. So it's early still, but he hasn't been eliminated yet. So
awesome. So he's no Jon Favreau.
He's no Jon Favreau. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that. Just to, you should check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Speaking of Mantzoukas, I didn't mention it last week, but on Taskmaster, he did bring a lockpick with him, which came in handy.
Yes.
Apparently, he walks around with a lockpick.
I mean, that is like not surprising.
Just one or like a whole set?
Yeah.
Well, he has a tool set with him that includes a lockpick.
Oh, okay.
But you're apparently not allowed to have a lockpick in England unless you claim that it is a hobby. So he was, articulated on the show that it's only a hobby.
You're only allowed to own it if it's a hobby.
Right.
So
you
like
can't have
you
a
couldn't say
lockpick
like
set.
if you were like, I need it, it's a professional tool.
Yeah, what if you're a locksmith?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just know.
Justin, you brought it up. You should have these
I know. I don't know.
ready to go.
But here's the other thing. If you have a lockpick, it clearly is some sort of hobby. Like you have to know how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you wouldn't just say, I just have a lockpick just in case. Because just in case,
just in case
never going to help
into
you.
Something.
Well, no, but it won't help you if you haven't practiced with it.
Yeah,
and if you practice with it, it becomes a hobby. Like it's not.
I think it's a weird
I don't think
hobby.
anyone accidentally buys a lockpick.
Right.
Okay.
Or just it's not like you have people. It's not like a prepper, right? Like who just has supplies just in case. But they're all supplies that like an idiot could use. Like a lockpick requires some dedication to master. It won't help you if you haven't trained with it. I speak from experience. I had a roommate who decided to become who got a hobby. He got a lockpick set and then practiced by locking and unlocking all of our doors in our apartment. And then when he wasn't very good at it, we had to break into our own bedrooms by climbing out of windows above Broadway.
You don't need the key. It's fine.
That's amazing.
Yeah. No, it was. So this is what I'm saying. Like you got to practice with it, and hopefully practice on doors that are not important to other people.
Well, I love the idea that Mantzoukas just walks around practicing picking locks.
Yes. I bet he's great at it. He did well in the show. I watched it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Isn't Taskmaster great?
It's great.
You just saw that first episode?
Yeah.
Which was an okay episode. Okay episode. The second episode's much better.
Okay. I'm excited.
Stick with it.
I wish it was on something other than YouTube.
Why? Oh, you have to sit through ads?
Well, ads,
Yeah.
and it's like on my phone. Like I'm not gonna like watch YouTube on my television.
Why don't you have a YouTube app on your television? Do you have a smart TV, Tori?
No, we watch everything through Xbox and or PlayStation.
You can put the app on those if you.
I know
so
we can,
choose.
but like,
Also, you can just like, can you?
how often
cast
am I
it?
gonna? How often am I gonna use YouTube on television? I pay for actual TV apps.
I hate to break it to you, but at a certain point, when some people get older, you're going to be watching a lot of YouTube on your TV.
God.
Yeah, I certainly do.
Well, you might not be watching it, but it will be on your TV.
It will be.
Yeah.
Why? Because Miss Rachel? No, she's on. Is she on Netflix?
Oh, I don't even know about that. It's just random stuff that
unboxing.
in.
Is that still a thing, Dan?
No.
I don't know. It never came into this house, but the current stuff is Minecraft has officially become the new virus, which is fine. Like,
yeah.
That's also like I have
there
nephews who vetted it for me, who are like, this person's good, this person's good, this person they should wait. So
yeah.
But you know what is family friendly for all ages is Survivor, because it's kind of been boring.
It's been super boring.
I've found the boredom sort of entertaining, and it's in and of itself. Like, I'm fascinated by how boring it is.
Mm-hmm.
When you can like sense the flop sweat from the editors trying to come up with anything to make a compelling 90 minutes. Like this whole week when they're trying to make it seem like there's a chance in hell that they might throw some votes on Joe. And it's like, no, they're not. They're going to vote for Mary.
Yeah.
It was
and the
so much wasted
the journey
airtime.
The journey where Eva
yeah.
there were like no stakes for her. I think I read somewhere that could have been an email.
Yes. I was shocked when she even pretended to try and continue past the fourth level of the puzzle. Because it was like you had to build this, you had to stack some tiles, and if you got 4 layers of tiles, you got your vote back. But if you got to 8 layers of tiles, you get an advantage, and it was an advantage that she didn't need because she has all of the other advantages.
Right.
And so she gets to the 4 tiles, has her vote back, and then is like, maybe I'll go higher. And it's like, no, you're not going to.
That felt very produced. Like, just them saying like
just vaguely.
What if you did? Just pretend for a second. It's been. I mean, it's been a tough. It feels like it's been a tough few weeks because after the David vote, which was normally that's when a majority alliance gets hit like that. That's theoretically when things start to fall apart and it can get chaotic, and kind of anyone can come out of that scramble with power. But unfortunately, after that, essentially the strong 4 plus Camilla kind of like I mean, I know she's not in, but she's been protected by Kyle. They've all, just agreed to take out players who are not in the majority alliance. And it's interesting because the biggest part, so from the edit, it feels very much like it's Joe's to lose, right? Like he's won a bunch of immunities. He's, seems to be liked by everybody. He has a compelling enough narrative. And so there's the question of like why nobody's targeting him when it seems like he's he was vulnerable. You never know if you're going to get another shot at him because of how good he is at challenges.
He almost beat Camilla. Like, she only got it because he got one tile backwards.
Right.
Like, he almost beat her on a puzzle.
Yeah. And it just it's a good reminder that, obviously we're seeing the pieces of the story that they want us to see.
Right.
And there's other things going on. Who knows? We'll see at the final tribal what people actually, what kind of arguments people actually make. I think Kyle, of the people left, I think Kyle could make a compelling argument because he's the next strongest in terms of challenges.
Yeah.
And he would have a very different story to tell than Joe. Even Shaheen at least would have a different route, even though I don't necessarily see a clear path for him. But if he made a big move in the next, couple episodes, maybe. I really like Camilla. I don't know how she wins right now.
She hasn't done... I mean, well, she just won immunity, so that's something. But she hasn't done
She's probably
anything.
Another person. Yeah, that needs like one other big thing.
Yeah, because right now their partnership, I think she was useful to Kyle early on, and she's definitely a useful sounding board.
Yeah.
But for late game, Kyle has done much more to help her than she has for him. So unless... And I think the next couple episodes are going to be really crucial for that. You're getting so close to the final 3.
Right.
But I agree on that. Shaheen also, like, it's so interesting because he seems to think that he's a much bigger mover and shaker than I've seen. Like, he always seems like he's eager to, like, take the reins and make his big power play, and then he like never does.
Right. Yeah, it feels like he is, whether it's true or not, I think that he's ultimately a little too comfortable. Like, I mean, in that he's not viewed as a threat in the way, and he's not viewed as someone to pick off. Like, he's in the middle in a way that he can get to 4 and then
see what happens.
So maybe that's his plan. I don't know. And it's interesting because as much as, Eva has a good story, but she's had so many advantages that she weirdly hasn't been tested. Because,
no, exactly.
Because the advantages have provided a shield, and then Joe has provided a shield. And so it's interesting to see. Like, I don't know what, like, especially if she and Joe got to the end together. I don't know what she can claim is hers. And
because she didn't find an idol. The idol was given to her.
Right.
I guess she did get was it from a journey? No, she found
it was from a reward challenge.
From a reward challenge. That wasn't her reward. She was taken on it, I believe.
Yeah.
She found it through that.
And then the last journey was just chance.
Pure chance. So there isn't anything that she's actually done, and I am curious, like, often you see players trying to go after, like, trying to essentially wash out an idol. Like, we know you have the idol.
Right.
Let's make you use it or make you do something with it. Like, at this point, it shouldn't provide a shield. They're so comfortable. I don't think she would ever think to use it for herself or for Joe.
Right.
So the fact that they're not even attempting it is so interesting to me. But it's true. Like, they've really created this very comfortable, like, not just there's the 4, and then Camilla and Mitch know, like, they'll be the 6. And now they are the 6.
Right.
But it's like, okay, so Camilla and Joe, like, Camilla knows what she risked out on Mitch. He just never had the courage. And it's such a funny thing because their whole point with Mary was just, how can we trust Mary? How can we trust Star?
Right.
And it's like, you don't have to trust people.
Yeah.
In Survivor.
And you don't have to trust them beyond this vote.
Exactly. That's it. It's like, you don't have to. This is not like I think they'll have my back forever, but like, your interests are aligned for this one night.
Right.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So despite that, and despite the fact that I think for someone who really didn't have a lot of cards left to play, if they at least made it seem like, you know, Mary made good points. Obviously
Mary tried.
They didn't land. But you know, she was voted out. It was unanimous. She also didn't have her shot in the dark already, obviously, so she couldn't even threaten to do that.
Yeah.
And then we got the one like kind of weird moment from this episode, which was so after Mary's voted out, David stands in respect,
I guess.
but like he's also, his face remains in that weird stoic grimace that he's had on his face for 2 tribals.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It feels like that's kind of the one thing that came out of the episode.
David sadly is the most interesting thing on the show, just because he's on the jury. Like he's so weird on the jury. So you end up watching a whole episode just to see what he's going to do. And like he's so like I also find it interesting because like the show and the edit made it look like he and Mary were super tight. And then in his interview, it was very like Mary was just following me. And she was like, "Oh, why does everyone think I was influencing David?" And I'm like, so I started to almost buy like, okay, maybe it was just an edit thing. Maybe we're misunderstanding. And then he does that creepy standing to honor her, you know, and I'm like, you guys were totally buddy. Like, what is happening?
Yeah. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, he's for better or worse, he is making the most of his screen time.
Oh yeah.
And
his face. Oh my God. What if I did that to you guys on the podcast for like the entire episode? Just so sorry.
No, but so Dustin, shockingly, Dustin has won our draft because I had Mary, and so you're the only one with an original person left.
So who's your second pick going to be, Dan?
See, this is the problem: is that the smart pick is Kyle. Like, if it's not going to be Joe, I think it's Kyle.
Yeah.
But the person who I wanted to pick outside of Mary was Camilla.
I already picked her.
That's right. So I'm going to pick Kyle.
Yeah.
So I forgot that you picked Camilla second, but yeah, I just think that if they end up at final tribal together, I think Kyle has the best case to make, and it's a different enough game. I don't see it for Shasheen yet. I don't think Eva's game is going to be different. I don't think she can differentiate it enough.
Joe, if it's between her and Joe did better.
Yeah.
And the only way she has a chance is if Joe doesn't make it to final 3 and promotes her on the jury. But I don't see Joe not making it unless he sacrifices himself for her.
But somehow. I can't see Joe making a good case against Eva. Just like he wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it.
I don't think.
But I don't think he has to.
I think that he would end up getting credit for most of what happened with that alliance.
Exactly. I don't think he has to make a case against her. I think he sits back. Everyone knows exactly what.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They have such a public alliance. Like everyone knows exactly what. I don't think there's any secret. It's not like Kyle and Camilla. Either one can come forward and be like, "You didn't even know we had an alliance." Like everything Kyle and Eva did was public.
Right. I think the one downside is I don't think it's necessarily likely, but I think if because Joe has been very public, I mean public meaning like in the show, not in the real world, about like, you know, I never lie, I don't, you know, I'm playing an honorable game, blah blah, all of that. Like he did lie to David, and like if David can poke at that, or if someone can poke at that at Final Tribal and basically fluster Joe into being defensive, that's kind of the one thing I could see turning where they're like, no, that's not true. You turned on, like, it's fine. You turned on us at Survivor, but you should admit it. Like, don't stand up for this ideal that doesn't exist.
Right.
But outside of that, I think it'd be tough for like Eva to beat him.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. If they have a 50, even if Joe wins, I don't know that they would invite him back because
no, he's too boring.
I don't think
he's the reason why. And he could just make everyone in the 50.
I don't even know if he's the reason. It's almost like everyone else buying into him. I don't think he's that bad. It's just, why does everyone give him that much?
It just feels like that's kind of become the theme of the season.
Yeah.
Like the way that, again, was it 46 that the theme was chaos and everyone just playing the most ridiculous moves ever, which was great.
Yeah.
Wasn't great gameplay, but it was super fun.
Right. It was much more fun.
Yeah. Whereas, the theme of this season has just been like, weirdly, people are loyal to a fault, to where they're not, or it's like the people who are loyal to a fault. The other people on the outside keep on waiting for their shot, and may have all waited too long.
Missing their shot because they're waiting for like a better shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Even Kyle, when he was like almost in tears thinking about like betraying Joe, and I'm like, dude.
Like, Joe's my pick, but I'm like rooting against him at this point.
Yeah. For the sake of television.
Yeah. But we'll see. I think there are 2 episodes left. 3 episodes. No, 2 episodes left.
Only 2?
Yeah, because it's because next week is a regular episode, and then they're down to 5, and then that'll be they said that the finale is going to be 1 3-hour episode. So.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be 5 going into the finale, and then cut down to 3, and then.
Yeah. So they're not doing the 2-week finale this time.
No. Which
thank God.
also suggests that, unfortunately, it might not be as
that exciting
or not as complicated.
Yeah. Rachel was worth dragging it out.
Yes.
Joe, less so.
But we'll see. 2 episodes left. Maybe there will be some big moves. Maybe someone will surprise us at Fire. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a weird Gabler edit where, I don't know, I guess it would be like Shaheen, who like laid back, but everyone just loves him so much that he ends up winning. Because one of the things Shaheen's bragged about is that he is technically in alliance with everybody. So, and he hasn't really had to betray anybody. So
that's true.
I don't know. It would be a bummer because the Gabler edit was one of the more frustrating ones, I think. Just because it didn't feel like it didn't feel like he had won, even though he obviously did.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, we have 15 minutes left before the duck quacks. I don't know what we should talk about next. Should we talk about Andor?
Oh yeah, are we waiting to see what Dustin thought of Andor this week? Has he finished it?
Do you like Andor yet?
I'll tell you what. I decided that this week I would just watch the previously ons.
What?
And I got bored with the previously ons and couldn't make it through it. I'm done. I'm out.
What?
You're out. You're like, this is it.
I'm out.
The one where they actually say genocide. The one that's like got all the Senate politics stuff. You're out.
Oh my God.
Quit.
Yeah. I quit.
Are you kidding?
I don't understand it. I don't feel good about it. I cannot get into it. It's like Lord of the Rings. I just hate watching it.
Dustin, this had both the most political episode probably of the series, and also,
and you would think,
and also the most World War II episode of the series, which you're of the demographic that would love that,
right?
So
okay, all right, I'm not a boomer.
No, but you're a dad of a certain age.
Sure. I'm a Western dad, not a World War II dad.
All right. Well, there's a lot of Western parallels too, probably. I don't know. All right. I just want to. We don't have to talk about it then too much because Dustin.
You can talk about all you want
is a
because
Philistine.
He hasn't watched Poker Face. He won't watch Andor.
Yeah.
I watched 2. I just don't want to hear about the 3rd one.
His microphone is weird now because he's having technical issues.
I'm having all sorts of technical issues too.
Okay, so there's only one block left. It's going into the final arc. Tori, the thing that I really wanted to bring up about Andor is really in the middle episode. It's the Gorman massacre, the one that is in canon already, has been mentioned in other things, but was never seen on screen. We get to see it. It's, intense and chaotic, and all of that is very incredibly well done. I mean, I think part of what was very effective of it was how many characters we had met of the Resistance coming into this, and how unglamorous their deaths are, because that's kind of how it is. It's like they have this belief that they have this higher calling, and it's like, no, you just die. That's what happens. But tying that with so spoilers for Andor, obviously, and Dustin, spoilers for you, because this might end up being one of the best moments of the series. The end of our friend Cyril, who has finally come to realize just what he's doing on Gorman. He actually, in kind of a terrifying fashion, attacked Dedra, and managed to make us feel bad for Dedra, which is pretty tough.
Right.
But then after that, in his shell-shocked state in the midst of the battle, he sees Cassian, fights Cassian, has the drop on Cassian, and as he's about to kill him, Cassian says, "Who are you?" And it's just the perfect moment for, and of course, that stops Cyril, ends up getting him killed. But
and Cassian then goes and is still trying to look at his corpse to figure out who this guy is and why he has such a personal, because obviously the attack felt very personal. Like, this guy recognized Cassian, and Cassian has no idea who he is. It's true.
But that was just a perfect encapsulation of his whole arc, his whole life. And
he was
I don't know. And I don't know what I was expecting, but that was one of those things that felt like it's one of those things that could dangerously become kind of too cute, I think.
Right.
But the way it's played, the way that they build to it, I don't know, just the fact that this is the whole point of his journey. They plotted this entire thing so well that it just feels perfect.
And I think you're right. I think it could have been too cutesy or too, because you would almost feel bad for him if he didn't attack Dedra. And and that's not to say you end up feeling bad for her a little bit. I mean, you don't feel bad for any of these people. They're all awful.
Right.
But he was that flunky that really just did what he was told and ultimately was not told what he was doing.
Right.
So there's, when he has this realization that he's complicit in the destruction of this entire planet, for reasons that were false. He was there under false pretenses and has finally figured out what the emperor is doing.
Right.
And for somebody who has dedicated his life to a cause, you do start to be like, this guy sucks, but he's not Dedra. He's not, these people who are running things behind the scenes. He's
really just someone in this system who is just trying to do his best.
He's a flunky. And but when he's so angry, and it is that thing of before you can feel bad for him, he strangles his girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
and then attacks Cassian. Because and that was the thing, like his moment of realization that like he was in the wrong or his side was in the wrong. Like he's now been complicit in genocide, like in this, like these false pretenses to destroy these people and take over a planet. And in that moment when he sees Cassian, rather than realizing that maybe Cassian isn't the enemy, maybe what's going on is bigger than that. And when he falls back to the base instinct of like, you're the cause of everything,
Right.
you're, and attacks him. Like it's an interesting moment because like you don't feel bad for him. And when Cassian doesn't recognize him, it's like, because you were never important.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. Yeah, I really like these episodes. And then following that up with like, and to follow that, like this episode where we're seeing this massacre, this genocide. And then the next episode is just this very tight, in some ways it felt like an Ocean's 11 thing. Like it wasn't fun, but it was just the senator needs to give a speech condemning genocide. The emperor, imperial monitors and stuff are not going to allow this to happen, and she has to do it and get out without being arrested. And so all the, Luthen and Cassian brings Cassian in because Leia's dad, his people who are going to help her have been infiltrated. And so there's this whole cat and mouse thing going on around the Senate. Not just to allow her to give her speech, but then to get her back out afterwards.
Right.
And it shouldn't be. It's all just about somebody saying something, but it was it was not only a beautiful speech, but it was like genuinely exciting.
Right.
Like I was really like, why am I on the edge of my seat after everything I watched in the previous episode? Like, why is this so compelling?
And especially in a sequence where, the principal characters are going to make it out, because obviously Mon Mothma, doesn't die here or get arrested, and neither does Cassian. So so but it's really about the how that is so thrilling. This also had another kind of meaningless death, which I found very entertaining, which was her driver, who is the plant, like an ISB plant. He's there to spy for them, and who has been like, they've made fun of him. They've talked about how he's just a dummy and how thank God that like he's not more savvy to what they're doing. And then he kind of like finally gets to this point where he's like, something's wrong. I need to go check it out. And then instantly gets himself killed by Cassian. So
and the episode ends with the seeming return, the long-awaited return of Alan Tydek's droid character, who was obviously Cassian's partner in Rogue One. So everyone's been waiting all season. Like, we know he's going to meet up. Like, this is all leading up to right before Rogue One. Like, when is he going to meet his robot pal? And he got him.
Yeah. He got him actually on Gorman.
And then had him fixed up on Yavin. Yeah.
One thing I did want to ask Tori, since I feel like these texts better than I do, but
no.
Okay. Well,
I only watch the movies.
Okay, that's fair. But as far as like, so this is actually not related to the movie stuff, but so Bix seems to have exited.
Yes.
Because she leaves a Dear John letter for Cassian. And it was interesting. I'm just curious what you thought about it, because that's one of everything in here. That's maybe the one element that felt a little convenient, just to be like, she's going to leave on her own, and that's fine. But she's like, I actually hope that she doesn't come back, because her coming back to be like tragically killed or something in the last block feels like it would be weird. Like, I'm almost like, no, it's fine. She made this choice. She's gone. And then who knows where she ends up in the universe or in life, because she's not part of this story anymore.
Right. I mean, the tragedy is, and I don't think I would not expect her to come back, because I think the point of it is that, like, she chose the rebellion. Like, her choice was, she knew that Cassian wanted to leave the rebellion and just be with her, just enjoy, like, we've done enough for the cause. Can we just enjoy each other? And to her, it's like, he's too important to the cause. She would feel terrible if she's the reason why he gives it up. So she's like, I'm choosing the rebellion. And essentially the expectation that, like, by removing herself from the equation, he will stay on.
Right.
And it's explicitly like, my wish is for you to continue helping them.
Right.
And of course he does, and he dies. He ends up, he does, and so the whole thing is like, and then they kind of get into it in this block where it's like they hint that he might be force sensitive, and maybe there's some greater purpose, and he's constantly pushing back against that. Like, that's not something he wants to explore. It's just luck. He doesn't want to acknowledge that, and it doesn't really matter if it is or not. Like, it's the self-determination of it is like, to him it's luck, and everyone else is reading more into it, and it doesn't really matter. Like, and I think that's, but you know, if she is right that, you know, he does have a purpose, it's sad because his purpose is what he does in Rogue One, which is help get the Death Star plans out and die in the process. So her message to him that, like, when this is over, we'll be together again. It's like, she left and she's never going to be together with him because she forced him to stay in the rebellion, and that will kill him.
Right.
And I think there's something about that. And I think that's part of the problem. Like, I don't mind if he's force sensitive or whatever. I think it's, what to me is interesting is, like, everyone we're looking, like, the entire show is really about the sort of the people who fight these battles, the people in these causes, what it takes to overthrow a system, an oppressive, you know, government, an oppressive system, anything. And part of that is your personal choice. And there is no right or wrong answer. Like, our history books are filled with, well, like, the people who chose the cause, but you are giving up a lot to do that. You're giving up your life, and you see Cassian, he just wants this life, and he keeps being pushed back into this thing that needs him. And no doubt, like, we would not have Star Wars if this character left the rebellion, if this character did not follow the path he is on.
Right.
But it's I don't know. I think that, to me, is the tragedy of it, is like, all he wants is to just be with this woman he loves, and even she is saying, you got to do this. Like, he can't get out. And that's oppressive in another way, and he needs it. Like, they're absolutely right. They do need him. But I don't know. It's so she left. I don't think she's going to come back. I think she's wherever she is, assuming that Cassian will help win this, and she'll get a chance with him, and when the dust settles, she'll realize that she lost him.
Yeah, Dustin looks very confused. I have one more question on this before. So Tori, you mentioned the duck's about to quack, but so you mentioned that this block kind of explicitly flirting with the idea that Cassian is force sensitive. So I'm kind of, I just want to look at that quack. So I feel like I missed something I missed this because I actually did not get that at all. I mean, I was so my read of that was that when people were talking about him being special or whatever, I thought that it was really in the sense of, like, you're a special spy soldier person, like you're good at what you do, you're, like, exceptional at what you do, and I don't know. I know
you're
that there was
exceptional at what you do because there's something else going on.
I did not take that because I don't know. Again, maybe I missed something. But
they never come out and say force. And so maybe it is. It's like everyone could be interpreting it different. I think that the woman that first is like, I could sense you across. It's like, there's
that
a lot.
More that she's force sensitive than he is.
Well, she is, but she's picking that up from him. Like, it's like it's magnetism kind of thing. It's like, it's not like she can sense everyone who arrives. She senses him.
Right.
And he's totally in denial. And probably, like, even if and I think that's the point, like, not everyone is a Jedi. Like, I kind of appreciate if they're like, yeah, there are probably a ton of people who are Force sensitive and it means nothing because it's
Right.
not strong enough to do anything with, and they live their lives anyway, and it really doesn't matter.
Right.
But then when Luthen has the conversation with him about, like, you always turn up when you're needed, like, as if something is guiding you.
See, and that felt to me less like a conversation about the Force or like Force sensitivity, and more just about like his, like, I guess it could be one or the other, or both, or neither, and it doesn't matter at the end of the day. But like, to me, it was really just that, like, he's not that he's fated to do this, but that at the end of the day, he'll always choose it, even though every other part of him doesn't want to.
Yeah.
But it's more like, to me, it was more like his moral compass, or his, his internal drive won't let him quit, even though he really wants to.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I took it the other way, where it's like, I think he would absolutely quit, and that, like, there's something else that kind of.
I think the one thing that would make him quit is Bix, and that's why when she leaves,
he would. Yeah.
Yeah.
She definitely thinks there's something more special to him. I think that was because he kept kind of shutting her down,
Right.
and I think she was. I don't think she was saying you're just really good at your job. I think it's like, there is a reason you're good at your job, whether you want to admit it or not. I don't know. I mean, I think it is left ambiguous for a reason, because I don't think it's fun to be like, he's a Jedi. Like, he's obviously not. Like,
he's
not
a
everyone
Palpatine.
is. But it's that would be hilarious.
Somehow Andor has returned.
Somehow. But I do think there's, something interesting about building out the fabric of this universe, where we're always waiting for, like, a Jedi in hiding or something, but it's like, maybe there's just a lot of people that, like, have a bit of this.
Right.
And it doesn't matter that much, or it matters in ways that aren't pew pew lightsaber.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe I was just, like, willing to go that far, but in the sense that I appreciated that it was kind of ambiguous and really not that big a deal. It was just like, you're just kind of like, you are lucky.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I do want to point out that while I think the book that it's in is technically no longer canon because they retconned a bunch of stuff at a certain point, one character that we are certain is not Force sensitive at all is Wedge Antilles, who's the greatest pilot in the Rebellion.
Greatest.
He's the only person to survive 2 Death Stars. He did all that without the Force, so really, Luke's a chump, and Wedge didn't get his gunner killed on Hoth, so really, let's put that on the scoreboard. We need the Wedge Antilles show. That's the only character I genuinely want to see a show about. I mean,
yeah, they should.
Great,
if you're Andor, it's great, but no, it's true. Like, they're making all these shows.
Yeah.
Where's the Wedge show?
Yeah. They won't do it. It's just Top Gun. Oh, Top Gun in space. There you go. You've sold it.
It would be so fun.
What else do you need? All right. Well, we've passed time, but we should very quickly talk about Last of Us first.
Well,
Tori.
Last of Us. Okay, so real fast, Last of Us. Blah blah blah. A bunch of stuff happened. It's fine. In the end, Ellie tortures Nora for information. We don't know if she's going to if she figures out anything about Abby. But right before the episode cuts to the credits, we get the hint of a flashback. So and Pedro Pascal walks in. So Joel is back. So we're going to get next week. So there's only 2 episodes left this season. The penultimate episode is shaping, like, I believe it's going to be one of their full on flashback episodes, similar to what happened last season, where it's like the flashback with Ellie's first girlfriend and the flashback with Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett. So they've done this before. They haven't done it this season. I think the penultimate episode will be a full on flashback, and it's obviously going to be how Ellie figured out how she learned the truth about what Joel did in to the Fireflies in Salt Lake City and why they're estranged. So we'll finally that, because the one thing she does say in this episode is that she did know what Joel did. Because Nora asked her and she's like, yeah, I know. So we'll probably get that, which means the finale will be wrapping things up, reconnecting the characters, figuring out what comes next. My big question is, are we ever going to see Abby again? Because we have not seen her. She's, Ellie is hunting for Abby, where we have no leads on. Right now, Ellie's just picking off people who were in Abby's kind of cohort, that attacked Joel, but she has not gotten anything on Abby. I am curious if the second season is going to be all Abby. If it will be actually, if at the end of the season we now switch and follow Abby's journey and what she did after killing Joel and see where she goes. Or if they'll actually switch back and forth. Or if maybe the show is never going to switch to Abby's, we'll never follow Abby and it will just be Ellie. But I find that surprising. I guess, it's been interesting to me that you cast Caitlin Dever and you have not brought her back. And if we're sticking with Ellie, if this is going to be an Ellie specific season, it does make me wonder if maybe season 2 will actually be all Abby. So that's my speculation. That's what I'm wondering. And we have 2 episodes to go. And more Pedro Pascal. So hopefully all the people who are sad that he died will get over themselves. And speaking of people who are sad, who sadly died, Dustin, tell us what happened on Watson, because I have not watched and now I'm like, well, damn it.
Let's see if he remembers to unmute.
I think he's muted.
They killed off Randall Park's character, Moriarty.
Like, come on.
I mean,
and he's actually dead.
I think so. Like,
okay.
Watson cooked up a thing and we watched him die.
Oh, okay. I mean, he was supposed to be dead at the beginning of the season, too.
Right, sure. But we watched him die. And I don't know, maybe I don't know how. But also, Watson murdered him, which was a weird call for this particular show because it's not that kind of show. But Watson was like, Moriarty was like, you have to follow the Hippocratic Oath. And Watson was like, well, the first thing is do no harm. And I figured that you cause a lot of harm, so it's okay to kill you. So he murdered him.
That's not how that works. Yeah, he murdered him.
I didn't think so either.
That's not how that works.
No, but I don't see any reason. Well, again, Matt Berry might show up. So.
Well, yeah, that's my thing. If they killed off Moriarty, they got to bring in Sherlock. Otherwise, what is the point of having a Watson show?
Exactly. But I'm not sure. It's not a good show.
No, it's not. It's so.
The
cases aren't good. The team isn't good. Nobody, it's not interesting.
I just feel like maybe even if they brought in Matt Berry, it would be embarrassing Randall Park was so far above the show. And maybe that's why he asked to be killed off, because he didn't want to be associated with it.
Do you think so?
No.
Or they got him, but because they promised that it would only be you'll be in 10 minutes total screen time across the entire season.
Maybe, except that, it's probably pretty decent money for not a lot, and nobody wants to turn down a job these days.
Yeah.
Is he?
I'm sure
he's got other stuff going on.
He had Blockbuster,
he's a very busy man.
And that.
No, but he directed that movie from the other year. Oh, I'm blanking on the name. That makes me sad because I watched it and it was fun.
Wait, he didn't direct
Shortcomings. He directed Shortcomings.
Oh.
He's developing stuff. He's like a full on producer now. Also, he was also on The Residence, Dustin.
He's busy.
Oh yeah.
He was in It's Florida Man.
Oh well, I think that probably had a lot of people. He's great, but I don't know. Show sucks.
Did we lose Dustin again?
All I got to say
he
about
froze.
Watson.
You froze.
Damn it.
Okay. I think on that
end it.
note, that's probably the sign.
Yeah. You know who else is in Shortcomings? Is Justin Min, star of Devil's Plan Season 2, alongside a bunch of famous Korean people who we don't know here. But anyway, that's the show. We'll be back next week. Apparently, we'll have all watched Murderbot because I guess I'm going to sign up for Apple again.
Yes.
And what if I come back and I say I've only watched Pachinko?
Honestly, that would be absolutely.
Totally
if you came
acceptable.
back, no. If you came back and said I've only watched Friends and Neighbors, still have not finished Shrinking, still nothing. It's like I have watched randomly episode 2 of Friends and Neighbors.
Oh wait, sorry, Tori. That reminds me. I know we're already in the middle of the sign off, but did you watch Side Quest at all? The Mythic Quest spinoff?
I did not.
I haven't
and
watched
I didn't
either.
go back and watch the redone
finale
ending.
Oh,
yeah, once I read what it was, I was like, okay, I'm satisfied with that.
Yeah.
I feel like I should watch Side Quests, but
I will watch them. It's just,
someday.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess I should probably have Apple TV for that. Maybe I'll watch Side Quests. You guys can talk about Murderbot.
You can tell me what happens on Side Quest so I don't have to watch it.
A bunch of one-off things that don't tie to anything else. That's the show. We'll be back next week. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody. Here's hoping Survivor is more interesting.
Oh, yeah. Dustin, get your internet fixed.
I just signed up for a different internet provider.
While you were
just now,
like frozen with us.